Hey, what's up, guys? Steel City Dashcam here. Obviously, I haven't posted in a little bit, and I'm about to explain a little bit of why. And just kind of the what's going on. Nothing crazy, just the usual stuff. Just some big changes, and haven't had the time that I thought I was going to have. But yeah, so I'll start by getting into the personal stuff because the personal life stuff is the bulk of what I've been up to. So, I'm driving home from work, and now you may say, wait, that doesn't look like the sort of commutes I've normally seen out of you. And you would be correct, and that is because I now live in, as this sign is showing you here, I live in Washington, PA. So I'm actually on my way home. I'll get into what I was doing for work because I was working something cool in a little bit. But anyway, moved into it's a smaller place, significantly, but it's nicer, and it's cheaper, and it's closer to everything I need. It's further from work, but this car gets good enough fuel economy that the money I'm saving way more than makes up for the money I'm paying in gas extra. Because now it's about a tank, with working 6 to 7 days a week, it's about a tank every 5 days. Because it's a 70-mile round trip each day. This car does get about 375 to 450 miles on a 10-gallon tank. So it's not like it's too bad. But, that is what it is. That was a side effect, and everything was weighed in when I decided where I was moving. I'm living on my own now, but I'm still very good friends with my previous roommate. We just both wanted to live on our own and in different places. So, no hard feelings there. Roman's still going to pop up and stuff. We're still going to be hanging out. Just not as much because I live further away. But, anyway, obviously since I've last posted, I had my trip to Florida, which involved staying 2 days with my buddy Ben, who has appeared on occasion in Charleston. Just doing some of the things to do there, going to some breweries that are local to there, trying some whiskey. Spent a lazy Sunday because I did the drive down the first night, stayed there a full day, and then drove to Valdosta, Georgia, where I stayed with the one and only Sam of Sixth Gear Auto. I don't know if he's actually still called Sixth Gear Auto. Long weekend where I'm only doing audio. So, anyway, spent 2 nights down there in Valdosta, Georgia with him. Got to ride in his Mustang. May it rest in peace. He totaled it a week after I got to ride in it. And has since replaced it with a nice Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Go check out his channel to see more, and his social media to see more about that. As far as crazy traveling and everything, that's about it. I did one little trip down to Maryland just for myself on a day off. That was a day where I was working the Children's Theater Festival here in Pittsburgh, and it got rained out, and I was on the clock for the day regardless, so I decided, let's go down to Maryland and look for some whiskey. And that was a big thing that happened in Florida, too, is I got a lot of stuff for a lot of cool people, and got a fair bit for myself as well that there'll be reviews on in the future. Which is another thing that I'll get to when I get to the content stuff. But anyway, the last really big personal thing is that I also, part of the reason for the hiatus was there was a period of time where I had time to do some editing, but I chose not to because I lost a good friend. I may have mentioned him in the past about his battle with cancer, but my buddy Drew, that I used to, when I worked for the wine and spirit stores, he was the big one that I used to work at in East Liberty, and he was the wine specialist there for many years, and he had stage 3 pancreatic cancer that eventually went up to stage 4, and at the end of May, he unfortunately passed away. Not going to touch too much beyond that, but you may know or you may remember seeing that I got into a fender bender right at the beginning of beginning of June. That was my fault. Really no damage to either vehicle. Everything was all good, and he was super, super nice about it. He actually tried to say that the car that cut him off should have been at fault, even though it's definitely still my fault. And I told him, I'm like, no, I still should have stopped. But he's like, no, if it were up to me, that wouldn't be your fault. So, good dude. He was around my age, so that went about as well as that could have gone. Knock on wood. Hopefully nothing pops up. But he put in a claim, and damage was very, very minimal. So I don't even think they had much to fix for him. I think it's just paint. Anyway, then also last week marked 1 year since I lost my true best friend of all time, Emmy, who obviously I had a compilation where you could tell they had passed, excuse me. and all that stuff. And yeah, so that was just another thing. I've also confirmed I am going to Blue Ridge Rock Festival in September, so there'll be footage from that as well as footage from the drive and all that stuff. Anyway, I don't have a lot of time, so I got to keep moving. As far as work, lots of gigs, picking up more responsibility. I've been in places like Bedford, Elwood City, Cleveland, Chippewa, Ambridge, small festival-style stuff, cover band stuff, not so much corporate things, but like, just a lot of here and there, that and the other stuff. Just finished up a weekend of Picklesburg, which I did last year as well, and it's a festival related to pickles here in the city of Pittsburgh. That is always a lot of fun, and this year was just great. Great crew, great everything, great setup. I had a lot of fun. I'm doing another festival this coming weekend. I'm going out to Cleveland for a gig this week. I know that things are picking up, and I'm doing a lot more. They're giving me more responsibility. I love it. So yeah, that's, there's just going to be more stuff. And that also means that this time of year I'm going to be busier. That pretty much covers the work stuff. Not too much beyond that to really dive into. As far as the car then, I turned over 26,000 miles. Obviously had the rear end cracked, a little piece of chrome on the front, but nothing too drastic. Obviously had the tire blowout and it screwed up my bumper. The new bumper I haven't gotten installed yet because in order to unscrew the screws holding my current one in, I have to take the back wheels off and just haven't had time. So it's sitting in my back seat, but I have a new bumper. It will be black. It's primed, not painted. I just needed something cheap and it gets it done. So there's that. And it's been great on the longer commutes. I've been getting between 35 and 40 miles a gallon, sometimes actually cresting a little higher than 40. The traffic dips it a bit, but overall, then by the end of the drive, it's at 37, 38 typically, so not bad at all. As far as equipment-related stuff for like editing and all that, I have my new setup in my new apartment is great for editing and all that stuff. Extra monitor, an extra curve monitor. New mouse, keyboard, all that stuff. Better internet, and I'm actually wired into Ethernet now because it's easier in this apartment to do it than it was in my previous one. My 8-man dash cam broke, so I'm using my Einheisek dash cam. I was going to buy another new one, but that Einheisek one's working, and I actually bought tickets to a concert this weekend anyway, or this Friday anyway. I'll be seeing a bunch of metal bands. Headlining is Signs of the Swarm, for those who may know them. So that'll be fun. Anyway, I also, my old phone, I'm going to be turning into my thing for recording vlogs. By vlogs, I mean mostly whiskey reviews. And yeah, so that should up the content on that because that thing has a really good camera for what that phone is, and it beats out the old iPhone I was using. So yeah, as far as content, I'm going to be mildly rebranding. I'm not rebranding the channel or anything. The playlist of Bad Drivers is staying the same. However, I am changing the name of it slightly. Instead of Bad Drivers, because it's been pointed out to me, like, oh, these aren't all bad drivers, a lot of these are mistakes. And, like, yes, but it's the nature of the series. However, I'm now going to start calling it Caught on Dashcam in and then the area. So, like, if it's just a normal commute stuff, it's southwestern Pennsylvania. If work takes me to Ohio, it's going to be southwestern Pennsylvania. And in parentheses, and Ohio in a different color font. I've already been toying with that. So that's going to be a thing. My 250th episode, funny enough, is going to be my trip to Florida. It's going to be a longer one, but the trip happened to fall on that, so I made the entire trip one video. So it's a little longer, but there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool scenery, all that kind of thing. And in the description of these Bad Driver or Caught on Dashcam videos, it's going to list the general area. So it's like, okay, greater Pittsburgh area, Washington are going to be the standards. But it's like, okay, also Bedford, or okay, also Mercer, or Erie, or Cleveland, or Akron, or, wherever. That's the big thing. Toying with putting occasional karaoke ones back in if I can get the audio to record right on this camera, but it's very nice for my regular editing because it gets rid of, it makes it so I don't have to mute so much stuff for copyright. It sort of quiets it, but it sucks for recording a cover while driving because it gets rid of the music. So, we're going to see on that. Adding in some new games, GTA 5, standard and modded, because I immediately started throwing a bunch of mods at it. I used to play it. Now I have a rig that can handle it well, so I'm playing it more. I see something. Yep. Rocket League, Genshin Impact, maybe Warzone. I haven't installed. I haven't really started playing it yet. We'll see. Some games are getting dropped, like Fallout 3, and like Car Mechanic Simulator, I just haven't been in the mood for, so you won't really see that often, if at all, for a while. And BZ Flag has been kind of hiatus, just because I haven't been in the mood to play it, so that's just what it is. It's still there, and I still have a backlog of footage. Maybe I'll be back into it by the time I post all that, but we'll see. Apex is still the big thing. Lots of compilations, the occasional full game. But I have so much Apex stuff to edit, and I'm getting way, way better at this game, so it's going to become harder to edit because there's just going to be so much footage. But we'll see. There'll be some Fall Guys still, some Euro Truck, American Truck Sim, just whenever I feel like it. Not super often, but they're still standards, just not, or they're still like going to be regular occurrences, just not standard occurrences. You're gonna see, it's gonna be what I normally do, where I tell myself I'm going to post all the time, and instead I'm going to post a bunch of shit at once and then kind of disappear. I'm going to try to not do that, but I can never make the promises because I've never been able to keep it. So it's just going to be what it is. I'm also not near home yet. I just want food. Anyway. So yeah, random shorts still. Occasional time-lapse if I get something cool. I was going to do one for Florida, but I did too many stops on my drives that it wouldn't have looked good. There wouldn't have been any long enough stretch with a good enough scenery. More stuff relating to Zoom Zoom, the car vlog I would do with Sam of 6th Gear Auto. We recorded an episode a little while back, and I'll do a little teaser to get some people looking at it, but we're going to record something new soon. It's all about schedule at this point. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else left to touch on. And I'm about to be where I want to be to get food. So, that being said, keep an eye out for new content. There's plenty of it to come. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.